Chapter 8, Gita-mrita, Attaining the Supreme, by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. O my Lord, what is Brahman? What is the self? What is karma? And what is this material manifestation? O my Lord, what is Brahman? What is the self? What is karma? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. You know, we have to have these things explained to us on our own. You can ask anybody, who are you? Where do you come from? Why are you suffering? Why are you enjoying? We don't know. We have to have this explained to us by authority. So Arjuna is asking Krishna as his guru, spiritual master, who knows these subject matter. Either you have to be God himself, like Krishna, hey, Amen. Or you have to have heard this in disciplic line. In other words, we just don't know. So Krishna says, Arjuna, the indestructible, transcendental, living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called the self. Eternal nature. See, people think the self is the body, this material body. Okay, so Krishna is teaching spiritual subject matter to his devotee who wants to know, who am I? You're not this body there, Arjuna. Not even your material mind. And you're not your material emotions. These are all temporary. You're indestructible. Isn't that amazing? We actually have a transcendental spiritual nature that is indestructible. But people don't know that. They think they die. We all think we die. So I would say this is good information, important information. Right, Amen? See? The indestructible, transcendental. See, we're transcendental. See, our nature is transcends everything in this material world. It transcends good and bad. Everything to do with the living entity, which most of us don't really haven't realized yet, is transcendent to what we see, what we hear, what we can envision with our own mind, and intelligence beyond our intelligence. So the eternal, indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature. See, our nature is actually eternal. Hey, Amy, welcome. Thank you. Let's contemplate truth for a little while. Help get us through this day of looking at the illusion everywhere. One is very fortunate if you start to like to hear and contemplate and speak these truths about what's eternally real. So this is Gita-mrita by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It's a rendition of Bhagavad-Gita in a little more friendly, informal context. Activities pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma, or fruit of activities. Okay, so that's an answer to Arjuna's question. What is karma? See, so Krishna says the essence. See, the essence, people who like the essence of truth are very fortunate, yes, because you really get a clear understanding. See, the essence of karma. People say, oh, do good karma, you know, do good deeds, stay away from bad deeds. Well, this is good karma, this is bad karma. The Krishna goes right into a deeper point of view. It's actually activities that go to develop our physical body. It's called karma, or fruit of activities. See, it goes to development of the material body. See, it has nothing to do with who we really are. So developing this identification in this world that I'm Joe, I'm this material name. And through transmigration, next life, I'm Mary, maybe, or Dick, or Harry. Depends on what lifetime I'm experiencing. See, this is temporary identity. Soul has an eternal identity. So people don't know that. So their goals are usually material, almost always material. They want to develop their material body. You know, go to the gym, people exercise. Not that that's bad. Doing yoga is to keep the body healthy. But when you think it's all in all, it becomes almost everything. You know? And then you do it to develop the false ID. Wow, look, I'm a strong person. I'm a trim person. I'm a fat person. I'm this. None of that. We have an eternal form, unchanging. Okay? So activities, people's activities are usually going. This is a very important subject, actually. One to contemplate. Good to contemplate. How many of our activities during the day are to develop our material body or material mind or material emotions? You know, having relationships and cultivating our feelings or some material person. It's just temporary. Okay? So that's called karma. Good karma and bad karma. Some people, they like to rob banks. Bad karma. And some people like to build hospitals. It's good karma. See, and there's a result. You get positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement, negative reaction or positive reactions. Okay? So Krishna wants to take Arjuna to a deeper level of understanding and activity action. That'll be eternally beneficial, not materially, just temporarily beneficial. See, most people are engaged in karma. Vaishnavism, they call them karmis. They're actions to do with good and bad actions in this world. It gets into the interesting subject of judgment, and we'll get into that later. So activities pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruit of activities. So there's some good news here. See, if you have deeper knowledge and information that you have a spiritual body, you can engage in spiritual activities for the development of what? Spiritual body. It also can develop. What are those activities? Every day come here to Lord Chaitanya's Amazing Grace Place. That's our activities. We're developing our spiritual body here. We're doing activities to develop the spiritual bodies, called the 9 process of devotional service, headed by chanting, remembering about the name, the fame, the philosophy, the truths of the supreme eternal living entity and the master controller of all, Lord, the Lord. In our line, his name is Krishna. Lord Krishna. See? So we engage in actions to develop our spiritual bodies. Who is Jesus was talking about? They don't do actions all the time, to collect just wealth and all that stuff. Give some time and energy to the development of our spiritual understanding. Who are we? See, asking questions like Arjuna. Otherwise, and asking of authorities, those who are in disciplic line, who have heard these things in the disciplic succession and have realized these things to a good extent. So Krishna goes on and says, activities, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is the material manifestation. So this is an answer to Arjuna's question. What is this material manifestation? So Krishna's answer again. The physical nature, which is constantly changing, is the material manifestation. Now you see how that works. If you look at anything, even you look at a plant or a tree, and the plant and the tree is changing, even though you may not be able to see it, but in time, the plant is changing. It's transforming. Our bodies also, even though it looks like we're the same in the same moment, or in one moment and then the next moment look the same, but inside, everything's changing imperceptibly, but it's changing. And then by and by, we're young, youthful, and then age, get older, diseases happen in the body. Okay? So this material manifest, it's all doing that. See, and everybody, if they don't ask this question, what is this material manifestation? They don't think about this. They don't get an answer. That's the essence. The essence, this material manifestation is always changing. Okay? And if we identify with it, we go through those changes and suffer and enjoy only those changes. Good. Where you're in the city and traffic, things are changing. And from the hot tub to driving in traffic, even your environment is changing. And now you're not feeling so good, frustrated. See, feelings are always changing in the material manifestation, okay? Transforming into good feelings and bad feelings. The mind also changes. Oh, I love this lady. I love this man. We're going to live happily ever after. But then our minds change sometimes. Everything is changing. That's why relationships change. The mind is changing. People change their minds because it's just the nature of this world is change. People are often trying to become stable in this world, but still they're forced to change, just like now, this time. People think they can have a stable future, or they're trying to, and everything, and then it's being upset by the changes because we're here in this world. People here in community. So the community is changing. The government is changing. One for one of freedom, more freedom, into one of more tyrannical. So they're changing everywhere. So the living entity inside doesn't feel safe, usually. Safety is an issue. And then the way the government is doing now is they're using that. Oh, people don't feel safe because things are changing too fast. So let's change it faster. Let's get people more in fear so they get confused. See, changing. So the person who knows their eternal nature, see, they've been cultivating who they are, cultivating that understanding. See, they're developing their spiritual body, their spiritual awareness. See, they're not buffeted by the changes so much because it's not who they are. So they find their stability, their security, their safety in knowing that they're eternal immortal beings. The truth is their security. The truth about who they are is their safety. Truth sets you free. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, is called Adidaiva. And the Lord of sacrifice is myself, because I am inside everyone's heart as the supersoul. So Krishna or Arjuna said, who is the Lord of sacrifice? And actually, I am that Lord of sacrifice. I am situated in all. How does one perform that sacrifice to the Lord? We all are built for engaging in sacrifice, sometimes knowingly and sometimes unknowingly, because unknowingly we just haven't been informed of these truths. But knowingly gives us more power, more understanding to develop who we really are. And so that's where real happiness is. To make the Lord actually happy. We discussed this today. Because everybody is working for the Lord, whether they know it or not. They're engaged in the Lord's service, whether they know it or not. When one is satisfying the senses, the material senses, one is Lord enjoyment and unhappiness, happiness and distress, especially when you overdo it. And so the living entity feels that. If the Lord is unhappy in their heart, they're unhappy. If the Lord is happy in their heart, they're happy. And happiness is superficial still, the happiness of this world. Being happy because I'm engaged in fruitive activity and developing family affairs. See, by working hard, making lots of, not just money to survive, but lots of money to develop my habitat, be not just simple dwelling, just something expensive. It takes a lot of work. So there's a kind of happiness in the heart. One feels satisfied to an extent. Not as happy as those who are engaging in developing their spiritual body. There's more, and people are doing it at different levels, different ways. The best way that I've found is bhakti yoga. Hearing, chanting, remembering about the Lord, Krishna, his pastimes, his qualities, his name, gives the Lord the greatest happiness and gives us the greatest realization of that. Your realization, your understanding comes on par with scriptures. We're doing an activity here that's very important, very beneficial. We're developing the spiritual body. See, just by knowledge, the essence of knowledge that comes into cyclic mind. You don't get this knowledge in college. You don't get this knowledge only in the world. Just even looking at them. You get this knowledge in disciplic line from those who've got it in disciplic line and have realized disciplic lines from those who are passing on this knowledge. It's called disciplic succession. Okay, so the more we develop our spiritual body, what's involved is also spiritual mind and spiritual feelings. It becomes tangible in our lives. We become actually aware that we have a spiritual body, we have a spiritual mind, and spiritual feelings. Therefore, the living being now is fully happy in knowing that and acting in that capacity, even in this world, especially in this world. Those who are not fully happy are engaging in developing their material body. Hey, Johnny. And the Lord of sacrifice is myself, because I am inside everyone's heart as a super soul. So naturally, the Lord is spiritual. And when we're engaged in spiritual activities, in developing our spiritual awareness, or in other words, spiritual body, the Lord is naturally going to be more happy with us. So some people do that in religion. And there's some happiness. That's why there's some happiness in religion. Otherwise, people would not engage in those activities. But it's not perfect happiness. Because in religion, there's speculation. There's not full, clear, clean truth in it, because materially motivated persons are usually taking right here by times and changing them a little bit for their personal interest of the development of their physical body. In other words, to use these words of these realized beings to make a living, to to uh, to increase their material wealth. It becomes tainted, this knowledge, and it's more or less twisted. You're in disciplic line when you're in for the real reason, the right reason is to develop your spiritual body and spiritual awareness, and that gives the greatest pleasure to the Lord. And then you begin to experience that great pleasure increasingly also. That's why the Lord is coming here, is to give us a taste for his happiness and work for his happiness, because that is our truest happiness. The best of all happiness is the happiness of God. This is inconceivable. This is unattainable by austerities, religious practices. This also comes in cyclic line by association with the scriptures, which praise this spiritual development, and the devotees who have realized this truth about their spiritual nature, and also praise what's in the book as it is, not for material profit, but for spiritual profit. Not only do they profit by contemplating and chanting these verses, other people who hear also. It's the ultimate profit. Most people are just trying to profit materially because they don't know how to profit spiritually by the development of the spiritual body. That gives God, the Lord of sacrifice, in hearts of everybody, the greatest happiness, and we naturally partake of that happiness. We're built for that. That's our nature. That's why the Lord comes here and sends his representatives here to help us become really, really clear about what is spiritual happiness and how to attain spiritual happiness. Arjuna says, how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? So Amy says, I want to develop my spiritual awareness as much as possible, but I am doubting my potential. Sweet. Honest answer, honest comment. There's no. You may doubt now. All you have to do is to stay with the process, and all your doubts will be resolved naturally. Because the truth is more powerful than the doubt. It's just lack of understanding of truth. And so you're growing, you're new. And the more all of us, we become increasing in faith in truth because it works better than any. You see, your happiness will be increased better than any other thing because you're pleasing the Lord by developing your spiritual. And you will feel this as you say a few things as a prediction, but I know it will come true because it is real. It's real than the development of the material body. That just, that's where the doubts come from. The development of the material body causes double-mindedness. But you can solve that problem by just continue on developing the spiritual body as you're doing. Tending sadhu sangha. Krishna says, I'm not attainable by fruit of activity. I'm not attainable by good deeds. I'm not attainable by renunciation, austerities. I'm not attainable by even sadhana, the real deep level of Vrindavan. I'm not attainable in those ways. But I'm attainable in sadhu sangha. So you've attained sadhu sangha. So you just stick with it, and by you see all those doubts go bye-bye. Because of real realization. Realize. You see it yourself. You'll realize it as true. And the truth then sets you free. So that's okay. Have doubts now. Don't worry about it. Just stick with the process, and by, in due course, more and more doubts will be surpassed. See, it's like doubting your potential. But you could doubt it, but your potential is natural. Your potential is you're just naturally a transcendental spiritual servant of the Lord, here to serve his happiness. We're built like that. All doubts is just ignorance of forgetting. So we're here to remind. So much so that you just feel it. This is what I'm here for, man. My happiness, Lord, is your happiness. Oh, this is nice. I just want to stick with you because I already know you are All I'm doing is pulling the truth from the scriptures and presenting it before my friends. And you decide, is this the way? It's a way for me. It works. Scriptures proclaim pure devotional service, bhakti yoga is a fantastic path, the best of all paths. So you just walk it, get personal experience, and see. And then you become the way. You have to practice the process as taught to you by experienced, bona fide spiritual master, empowered by Krishna, to teach the real truth. Okay? Then you follow it and get the result very easily. Okay? And then you become the way also. So you go in the door, you practice the real process, and then you become the shepherd of the sheep who are also looking for the real door. The real door is the real process, learned in association of an empowered devotee who has realized their relationship. And increasingly, I don't teach it. It's not stagnant. You don't just, I've realized my relationship with God. I'm done, finished. No, never finished. The relationship is a relationship. It's relating. It's better than, see, relationship you think is like a noun. Oh, I've attained my relationship with God. Okay, it's finished. No. The relating, it's more of a relating deal. Yeah. I've attained my relating to God, and I want to continue to relate to God because it is so pleasurable to please God. He likes this relating. He wants this, so I just get what he wants, and then I'm very happy. So Krishna says, whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remember me alone, at once attains my nature. I need to stop. I have to contemplate for 2 years. It's in the afternoon, so my energy's, it's hot too. Okay, so thank you very much. It's nice coming out and sharing. If you missed any of this, watch the replay. Till we meet again. Sayonara.